today we are busy with the ability to identify and use the appropriate style and form when writing. Remember the last time, our last time when we had a class, we spoke about writing, and when you write, you need to have your own style. You create your own style. Now, today, we're going to be busy with the ability to identify that. Remember, this module is to prepare you to write, whether you write a thesis, whether you write for a journal, whether you write as a journalist, whether you write as a newsreader, it doesn't matter. You will be prepared because you will know what to do, how to handle anything that comes forth. My first slide, using appropriate style and language. Class, everyone needs to practice to become professionals with skills in academic and job-related writing. When we started, I said, we are a mixed bag of students from different angles, from different departments, from different levels. So being different like that, the aim of this module is to prepare you as a writer to know how to use English as a language to be a professional writer, a professional speaker. Now, there are skills that you need to have. Remember, you are listening to me right now is a skill, the skill of listening. Then we continue to say, you are to be enlightened as a writer about expectations in technical writing, both academic and professional. You know, when you write, there are things that you need to know. Now that you know the grammar, you know, we dwelt so much into the usage of the language, the usage of writing this language in a proper way. We did that a lot, and I take it we are all now glued, even if we are not perfect yet, but at least we know where to put a noun, a pronoun, a verb, an adverb, and so forth. We know that so far. Now, if you are enlightened about that, there is this technical writing that it is spoken about. When I always cite an example of the different language that we encounter, if you are studying law, your English or your language will be different from somebody who studies English being a teacher. It will be different. Your language, if you're studying to be a doctor or in the health department, in pharmacy and whatever, it will be totally different. It won't be the same as me who is just teaching English as a language so that you know different things, different language styles. Here now, you create your own style. But when you create your own style, it doesn't mean you can do wrong things. No, no. Even if you create your wrong style, you are not going to use slang. You are not going to use what I call the WhatsApp language or WhatsApp spelling. You are not going to address people wrongly. You are just going to be this professional who knows what he or she is doing. Number 3, in the areas of verbosity is using more words than needed, formality and wording appropriately for the intended audience, purpose, and context of documents. You know, people write, even students who are writing their master's thesis or doctoral thesis, when you start, you have this tendency of using verbosity. It means you say one thing, but in different ways. You just repeat, and we call that sometimes tautology. You repeat the same thing. or you give words that are not necessary, you need to guard against that when you are a writer, that you don't use more words than needed. You just need these few words to say whatever you want to say. You don't have to write a whole paragraph. After reading that paragraph, I only realized that, oh, you wanted to say this. For instance, you want to tell us about the scarcity of water. I always pick up on examples of things that are happening in our areas right now. We hear about scarcity of water in Gauteng, wherever, or in Joburg. Now, you want to tell us that there is scarcity of water. We see our dams are going down and it is not raining. We don't know what we are going to do to help the nation. Now, instead of just saying the dams are going down or the water levels in the dams are down because the population is too much and we don't see rain coming soon. Full stop. We understand what you are trying to say. Instead of you saying, as I was passing the Hartbeespoort Dam, I realized that that dam is not at the level that we expect it to be. And now, after that, I went to another small dam in Groot Mariko. I'm just giving examples. In Groot Mariko Dam, I realized that it is dry. And now I want people to know that we are running short of water because our dam levels are very low. So that is where now you are supposed to say, this long paragraph, it's verbosity. You were just supposed to put it in 1 or 2 sentences and the message is delivered. Now, you need to understand and know that when you word your sentence, your wording must be appropriate because you know the audience that you are writing to. If a person is writing for Sun, you know this newspaper, Sun, those people know their audience. They write about things that are not usual. They will tell you about sangomas, they will tell you about tikoloshis, they will tell you about things that there are people who are interested in such. But then when I see that type of newspaper, I'm not their audience because the message or the words that they are using, first of all, are a bit queer, difficult to understand. And what they are trying to explain, it's not for me. So they have their own audience. You also, when you want to have your style, you must know who are you writing to? Who do you want to impress or who do you want to attract? Say you are, I cited this example as secretary. You are a secretary in a company and you want to write the minutes accurately. After the meeting, you write your minutes accurately. You know the audience, you know your company. You work in this big company where you have different levels of people. You have the CEO, you have the COO, and you have the owner of the company. You know, Mr. Ackerman is there, and he is the one who started this company. He's the one who started this business. So you've got to be careful. How are you writing your minutes? Remember the other time we discussed the importance of having knowledge of what you are doing, because most companies in different jobs, they are looking for a person who is very accurate and very clear when it comes to writing. You cannot be a switchboard operator and you cannot speak English. You are speaking slang and you are a switchboard operator. When I call this company, you are the one who's going to answer my phone. And if for instance, your voice is lousy. Good afternoon, certain company. How may I help you? You don't even tell me who you are and so on. You are not well trained. I was on this one of in the areas of verbosity. So you all understand that when you write, when you talk, you need not use more words than needed. Use the appropriate words, and you must know the audience that you are addressing. You must know the purpose of your message. You must know why are you writing, the context and the documents. The next one, audience and context are paramount to word choice consideration. Your audience should be something that you seriously attend to and take care of it. Because if your audience is the youth, for instance, and you come to this youth, you want to write a text to them to tell them about what is happening somewhere in Sub-Sahara. You want to tell them about your trip there, what you want to do, that you collected some soil because you wanted to check. These people, first of all, you call them your audience, but they don't even study what you are doing. They don't understand why do you go about collecting soil and doing some research on soil. I'm just giving examples. And you eventually now come to say they don't understand because they seem not to be understanding what you are doing. And then you are in trouble. They are not going to follow. Now, most students are comfortable with, okay, let me just say this. When you are an academic, you are writing an academic piece, like your honors on your research, your master's, your doctoral, that you are not going to say, I'm writing for my audience. No. You'll be guided by your research because your topic will tell us what type of audience are you targeting. Your topic will definitely tell us what type of audience are you targeting. If you are going to do a research on I need a simple thing. If you are going to do a research on youth being always wanting to be given stuff without working for it, even education, you know your audience already. Your topic will guide us or will guide the person who's going to read your work that, oh, you are targeting the youth of today, or they call them the 2000 youth. Those are the people that you are targeting, and you want to research and understand what is it that they think and why do they come to such conclusions. So you know but the writing will be very formal also. The language will be very perfect because you know who are you targeting. Most students are comfortable with language they use in everyday casual social exchanges. However, everyone needs to practice to become professionals with skills in academic and job-related writing. I've been saying this from day one when we started, that you are attending this course so that you can at least manage to get out of this social casual writing, the one that I call the WhatsApp writing, where you just use consonants, you just use syllables, and you expect somebody to understand that when you write THX, I should understand that you are saying thanks. of which if I'm not used to that, I'm not going to understand what you are saying. That's not language. You just took the syllables and put them together. But you are comfortable using that since all your friends, your age group are using that casually. The same way as when you address a person, you say hi instead of saying good evening, good afternoon, good morning, or good day. You just say hi. First of all, you don't know this person. If you don't know a person, you cannot address this person that way. Or you address people saying, hey guys, please listen, I'm just trying to say something here. You can't just address everyone as guys. It's not an appropriate language. But if you are in your age group or in a class where there is no authority there, you are comfortable to use that language. But I stress and ask that please snap out of that type of language. If you want to learn to write anything, it doesn't matter what, you need to practice. Snap out of the this WhatsApp language writing, this kind of language that is having so many different meanings, you don't know how to interpret it. So if you want to become a professional with that skill, whether you are job related or in an academic field, you have to understand how to address people, how to write. It's very important. Understanding your purpose. Understanding your purpose empowers your writing. I've just mentioned your style, the way you want to approach things, the way you want to make sure that people understand what you are trying to say. Ultimately, writing with purpose requires a deep understanding of yourself, your audience, and the impact you hope to create. Let me cite an example. There are people who are writing short stories, lyrics for small children, for kindergarten, for primary. You know, they write those lyrics in a way that when you listen to this person giving these children that the music, you know, it comes out so beautifully that that person took a lot of time to create that, to make it simple, because she or he knows that he is writing for children between 3 years and 5 years. They'll be able to do those lyrics. They will be able to, you know, to play around with whatever. So they take time and then write something like Bana basikolo, Bana basikolo. When we sing it, it's like something very simple. Whereas you grow older, you say, this is so stupid. But for a child, 3 years, between 3 and 5 years, they understand. The teacher or whoever is training that child is able to can register some knowledge in this child's mind about coming to school is very important. And the person who took pen and paper, sitting down to write those lyrics, was very clear that I'm targeting 3 to 5 year olds. I want them to understand. You check the poems, you check whatever. They go in different levels. They go in different levels. When you are in high school, you are given a bit difficult poems. You don't do poems that you did in primary school or in middle school. You are now in high school. We expect you to understand more. When you study English as a language, obviously you are going to deal with poems because now you are busy with that language. So if you are busy with that language, you are going to go deeper. You're going to be dealing with things like Shakespearean language, for instance, the sonnets from Shakespeare. You're going to deal with something deeper. In all languages, they go with levels, they go with stages. So when you read, when you analyze at a higher level, not the level of high school. A high school child can analyze a poem at that level. The same poem, when you are at university, you are going to analyze it differently. It's not going to be the same as it was done in high school. It may not always be easy, but when we tap into our purpose as writers, we can create work that is meaningful, impactful, and lasting. You know your purpose. You know you just want to write a thank you card to your mother, for instance. You're a writer by so doing. The purpose is to say thank you to your mom. And you take a pen and paper to say, I want to write this. I don't want to buy a card. I want to, using somebody's words. Then you take a paper and pen and you start writing. The purpose is to impress or to make sure that your mom understands your emotions at that time. So you create a work that is meaningful. You don't just write, you don't just write. Even if you want to buy a birthday card for your friend, you don't want to write. You feel you're going to buy a birthday card for your friend. The purpose is to say happy birthday to your friend, right? Instead of writing, you say you're going to use somebody's brains. All these cards are other people's brains. They sat down and wrote. But you'll find that this card is saying something that you feel you wanted to say to your friend. But it's written by somebody on purpose to attract people to buy those cards. That person is on business, but at the same time, they are planting information that maybe I didn't have the energy or the intelligence to put those words together. But when you write, then you think along those lines. You create work that is meaningful. You don't just take pen and paper and say, I want to say thank you to my mom. Thank you, mommy. You threw me a beautiful birthday party. Thank you. That's all. Yeah, it's meaningful. But you don't show what is the purpose? The purpose is to say thank you. And you want to say it in a way that it touches your mom's feelings. Then it becomes impactful. You are impacting on somebody's life, which is lasting. You are impacting on somebody's life, which is lasting. When your mom reads that card or that thank you card, the impact becomes so deep that it's going to last forever. Every time Mama will say, shoo, Mpiteleng wrote me a card. And in this card, he said, that's the impact that you have done. That's how you should write. Even if you are a newspaper reporter, you've got to make an impact. You don't just write something light and then nobody reads it, nobody doesn't care. If you work in an advertisement world, you are going to make an impact. You want us to look at your advert. We don't want to see you eating wors and saying, yeah, this wors is nice. And that's it. That's no impact in that. But you are going to make it in such a way that when we read the advert, the impact comes first. before it will last. So we say, yo, they're advertising this Wors, the champion Wors. I need to taste this, because it was advertised in such a way that you'd think that it's tastier than any other Wors that you ever ate. So your impact must hit the ground just with an advert. So if you advertise also your language, your reasoning, the purpose, why do you want to say this to people? I think you have all seen advertisements of different products. You see an advert of this child, this little girl. They advertise the Aero biscuits. You end up looking at how she wants to teach her dad how to enjoy an Aero biscuit with a glass of milk. It attracts you. It makes an impact. And what makes an impact is the way this little girl is explaining. She's been trained to explain this. And remember, her explanation, it's somebody's writing. Somebody wrote that advert and said, I want a person to do this, act it out. The theory is on the paper, but now let us have someone who can act it out. And it's going to last. Can you see? I talk about it. I don't know when last did I see that advert. And some of you also will attest that they've seen adverts that makes, an impactful, and it lasts. There was one, it was advertised by, is it? No, it's not Nando's, where they say they speak all the languages and the waiter speaks in, I don't know whether it's Portuguese or whatever. The person who wrote that had a reason. The reason was the purpose is to attract people to come to, I don't know whether it's not Nando's. I don't know what, one of these outlets, food outlets. So I hope you understand that the purpose is essential to writing that is meaningful, effective, and impactful. I hope you understand that the purpose is very important. I've given some few examples. If we are reflecting on our own experiences and values, understanding our audience and using techniques such as storytelling and emotional appeals. That is very important, that you ought to be smart. If you are relating a story to a group of children, you're going to come to their level. Your language will be at their level. I've just cited an example of a person who is writing lyrics for grade from 3 years to 5 years. You find that you've got to have this way of telling a story. People who are able to say something about an accident that they saw. They relate the story in such a way that you'd think they were there, only to find that they only read about it from the newspaper. But now the way this person takes it, this person takes time and uses, without even noticing, and uses his technique, his style of relating a story, then he will be there when telling people that I saw this, the car was coming this way, and everybody's looking and listening. If you ask, what time did it happen? I don't know. I read about it. Can you see that he attracted us? He made sure that we listen, whether we were interested or not, because his technique, his style of storytelling is different. And he is, or she is, good in emotional appeals. Nowadays, there is this thing of TikTok. There are people who will always put things there. They have time. There are people who will always say things on TikTok. They say things as if it's theirs or they were there, explaining about one day they were at a wedding, this. They have a way of attracting people emotionally. They appeal to you emotionally. We can write with purpose and create work that has lasting impact. I repeated this on purpose, that lasting impact is your purpose. And it is very important and essential. If you want to write for the sake of writing, you are asked by your manager to write an article for this newspaper. Maybe you work as a journalist, you want to write, they say, put something in that corner. We don't have our person, or the people who are always contributing to that corner didn't send anything. So please grab that opportunity and write something. Then already you will have the purpose. The purpose is to create the impact, and you want to appeal to the emotions of the people who are going to read your work. Any question? Any question? Oh, I'm not going to. Am I going to talk alone this whole time? Yes.
Questions, Doc.
Well, ma'am, I don't have any questions at this moment, so.
Okay. Hopefully you'll
Perfect
have
today.
some tomorrow. Hopefully you'll have some questions today and tomorrow. Remember, you are towards writing the examination soon. That is next month. Next month is in 2 weeks. Don't forget, ne? I'm moving on to my next slide now. Okay. But how do we find our purpose as writers? We are writers. We want our purpose. We are learning. We are new in the field. We are new in the jobs. We are new as academics. We are fresh from high school. Some of us have been working different jobs. Now you decided to study, to do whatever. How do you find your purpose as a writer? It is not always easy, and it can be a process of trial and error. Some strategies can help us discover and define our purpose. By the way, every person has got a purpose. Deep inside you, you have your purpose. Even as I'm busy talking right now, you know your purpose. Why are you here? Why are you in this class? You have a purpose. There's a reason, something that pushed you to be in this class. It's a purpose. So now you come because you are a writer. It doesn't matter that you don't write for a newspaper column, or you don't write for an academic achievement. You are a writer, because whatever you do, you are going to write. There's no way that you are going to be this person who goes to school without writing. That is why when we started, we spoke about writing. We spoke about listening. We spoke about you hearing what has been said, so that when you are going to sit and write, you are there. So there are some strategies that can help us discover and define our purpose. You need self-reflection. Self-reflection is nothing else but is talking to yourself. Self-reflection. What do I want? after passing this module, what am I going to do? Because my belief is you are not in this class to cram anything. There's no way that you are going to cram anything. There are no lines that you need to learn. There are no lines. This is all about you. Whatever I'm saying, whatever slides that you have been going through every time after I've given a class, you need to apply. You take those slides and you apply them. When you are alone, you are going to say, okay, this one, you need self-reflection. What is it that I want in life? One of the most important things we can do is to reflect on our own experiences and passions. There's no one normal person who can say, I don't have experiences, I don't have passion. You know, the word experience is being misunderstood sometimes, because people think that when we talk about experience, we talk about job experience. That is not only about job experience. Whatever I do every day, every minute of my life is my experience. Whatever I do is my experience before I can think of job experience. These are some of the words that I always say. They are being misinterpreted and misused. Just like the word rights. People like saying, I have my right, you know. They don't understand that rights goes with responsibilities. You can't have rights without being responsible. Same as using the word experience. You say you are experienced. Yes. One of the is to reflect on our experiences and passion. Passion and experience goes hand in glove. You get to know yourself more because you have this passion of doing something. If your passion is swimming, you are going to make sure that every time you go for training, swimming lessons, swimming, whatever, that's your passion. You want to see yourself going to the Olympics. You want to see yourself being trained as a professional swimmer. Your passion is just swimming. But now, when you look at your passion being swimming, you want also to experience. Your experience is, I can't swim. I can only swim, in a shallow pool. I'm not good. You don't have any experience in that. But you have the passion. The passion will carry you through your experience. I can imagine if you are at a job that you don't like or a job that you don't want, you just go there for the sake of, what can I do? I had to stand up and work, but I don't like this job that I'm doing. Maybe you stayed for 5 years without working, and then somebody says, in my company, they need somebody who will help us with paper sorting. The company, they're printing, they're doing this, and now if you can be there just to sort this paper for us, sort it by the notes or the writing or by the colors, whatever. And now you get there, sit there. It's not your passion. You don't like using your hands, working. You want to think. So it is not your passion. Now you're going to go to that job every day, not being happy. When you do your self-reflection, you don't even ask yourself, but am I going to be here forever? Am I going to be pushing this paper, sorting it out in different bags, yellow, green, purple, and so on? When you do your self-reflection, the first thing is to ask yourself, but who am I? What is it that I want to do? What is my passion? Am I a chef? If you're a chef, okay, you need to learn more about cooking. That's your passion. You read those books, you follow those things. It's your passion. When you talk to people, you talk about your passion, which is becoming a chef. Because this work of paper and stuff, it is just too much. You don't get it. Now, what issues or topics do you feel strongly about? You've got to ask yourself, you are doing the self-reflection now. What issues or topics do you feel strongly about? You ask yourself, hey, what is it that I know? What is it I want? What is it that I'm concerned about in our communities? I feel strongly about checking, why do people litter, for instance? People litter everywhere. When they leave the classroom, there's paper all over. You didn't see them having papers and bottles, but when they leave the classroom, there is paper all over. Now, I'm talking about something that I feel strongly about, because when you go to lecture rooms all the time, when people leave, they leave you with, litter all over. Then you'll know that there were people sitting here. Let me cite an example. I always make a joke about it, that I strongly feel about littering in our country. When you are lost in South Africa, wherever, when you are lost, just if you're driving, drive around. And when you see a heap of litter somewhere, stop there until towards 4 o'clock, 3 in the morning, just wait there. You'll definitely know that that is a taxi rank. The first taxi will come 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and you'll see people also coming. Then you say, oh, I'm right. Then I'll see people. I'll ask them where to go when I am here. Where is this place? It's a landmark that people are not aware of, but I discovered that wherever you go, when you see a heap of litter all over, you must know that a taxi rank is somewhere closer here. Then it's a topic that I strongly feel that it needs to be addressed. But the question is how? If I'm an academic, it means I have to do a research about that. Why do people litter and what causes that? Why are they leaving things, thrown all over the place? That's self-reflection, and you are looking for your passion. Then, what experiences have shaped our worldview and our values? I can speak the whole night about values. We all have different values. We were all raised differently with different values. Each and every house, each and every family has got its own values. But there are common values that are caused by or are created by the cultures. I mean, the value of respecting an elderly person, it's a value, it's there. You don't look for it. You are just taught from home that you've got to respect elderly people. It's a value. You are just told by your parents to say thank you and please. You are told it's a value. You don't buy it. I have this line that I always use, even for my children, to say, common sense is not taught. Common sense is not sold. Common sense shapes you, gives you your values, because you pick up common sense and you use it. And where do you get that common sense? From home, from childhood. From your childhood, you know that this is a value. My mom will never give me something unless I say thank you, or please, can I have this apple? Those are values. So our experiences shape our worldview, how we look at things. How do we see the world today? So when you do your self-reflection, I've just mentioned a few. Those are the few things that you've got to do some introspection. Ask yourself, am I okay to study law? Am I this person of reading? Because law and the medicals, those people are reading volumes and volumes and volumes of books. If you are not a person who doesn't have the long span of reading, then law is not something else that you will manage. Because with law, you read so much and check all the other things, what happened in 1907, what happened, the same case was there, it was treated. You've got to know your story so that you represent your client properly. But before you get there, just studying law, you've got to be having this long span in reading and concentrating and focusing and assimilating what you are reading, not just reading and passing. No. So that experience of reading shapes you that, I like reading. There are people, there's a difference between reading a novel for pleasure and reading a textbook for examination. There's a difference there. But if you read with a purpose that you want to explore this because your passion is to become a lawyer, now you want to explore your passion, you want to have enough experience of this field. That's how you check yourself. I've just took out 2, but there's a lot that you can explore. By exploring these questions, we can begin to identify the themes and ideas that are most important to us and that we want to convey through our writing. My writing should be so important to me. Before you can think that your mentor or your supervisor or your manager will be able to say, yeah, this is a piece of something. You must first understand and identify that it is important to you. So when it is important to you, you are going to be able to love it. You are going to be able to be proud to write about. You identify the theme. You identify the idea. And then you say, this is important to me. I'm going to explore it. I'm going to see what I can do with this. And that we want to convey through our writing. Most business people will tell you, I started, very small. I started at home. They were selling eggs because we had chickens that were producing eggs. Then my mom, my grandfather, and so on decided to sell or to deliver eggs to different people. So that's how this business started. Now, you grow up now checking all these things that, I can make money out of eggs. So you'll find that as you grow, you end up now having this passion of producing eggs. But how are you going to do it? Now that's when you start exploring. How am I going to do it? I want to grow bigger. I want to supply these eggs to different people, different areas. How do I do it? Then you study, then you come to the idea of having a poultry house. You build a poultry house, you try now to check, how can I get it? How do I do it? How do I get these chickens from day one so that I grow them? Then I get the eggs ones only because I want to specialize in eggs. I'm giving examples of what do I mean by say explore the questions about your passion, explore the questions about your experiences. and that we want to convey through our writing. You know, through your writing, you are going to be able to say, now, this is my passion. I'm going to start writing on this one. Okay? Now, understand that you write for those who are there to read. Whatever you are writing is very important. If it's important to you, make it important to other people. Make it important to other people because you want them to read what you have written. Whether you are in the advertising industry, whether you are in the acting industry, whether you want to write short stories and people act them out, whether you are an academic, you want to get your academic ropes as a master or a doctoral, you've got to have that strategy, the audience that you are targeting. Who are we writing for? And what do we want them to take away from our work? What is it that we want these people, to get, to understand? You know, when I prepare for your classes, I go through different textbooks. I go through the internet to check something, the topics, and check, and come with what I think this will be suitable, because my aims or my objectives are this and this. I'm guided by the objectives, and those objectives makes me to say, okay, I'm writing for this class, and they are now going to get whatever they want from this and benefit out of sitting here for 2 hours listening to me. So my audience needs to be very clear of what is it that I want to convey to them. I've written slides, so my writing has to be so clear, because I do my research, I check, I go with what is supposed to be there, and what I said, this is relevant for tonight. By understanding our readers' needs and interests, we can tailor our writing to be more effective and engaging. That's exactly what I've just explained, because I understand that my readers, you, the students who are listening, I know your needs, a bit of your needs. I know a bit of your interests. Then I tailor my writing so that it can be effective. Even when you are alone, going through the slides, you say, oh, okay, I now understand what self-reflection means. Let me see. Let me check on my own. What is self-reflection? What is it that I need to do to reflect to my work? Then you just go. So if you don't understand the people you are writing to, how will you be able to deliver what you want to deliver? If you don't have the passion of what you are doing, you are not going to win. You are going to end up with so many things in your plate and finishing nothing. You know, there is this saying that says, jack of all trades, but the master of none. This person is doing everything all over here and there, da 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 da. Then at the end, this person achieved nothing because this person doesn't master anything. The other time, I don't know whether it was in this class when I say, I don't like people who say I multitask. What is multitasking actually? Because it means you are not giving anything your full attention. Your fullness is not there because I'm busy teaching right now. And at the same time, I want to write an email to someone. And at the same time, I want to send a WhatsApp message to one of my children, then I say I'm multitasking. I don't like the word. I don't use it because I've seen people who say they are multitasking. You sit there and observe and look at this person. Nothing is going to be finished. Nothing. Because they multitask, they do a bit of this, a bit of that, a bit of that, a bit of this. And then at the end of the day, this person hasn't achieved anything of the jobs that he or she was supposed to do. Go to a company where the secretary is also a PA of the boss. This person, you just sit there waiting. Maybe you've got an appointment with one of the people there. You sit there and watch. When you have this mind of analyzing all the time, you sit there and observe. From starting to greeting this person, she doesn't have, mostly are women, she doesn't have time with you, greets you quickly and, who do you want to see? Oh, you want to see so and so. Okay, I'll call him now. Then she continues with a whole range of things. Then you stand up again to say, ma'am, by the way, my appointment with that person is now at 9 o'clock. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to. Oh, okay. Let me do this. Would you like to have some water? Imagine I've been sitting there for an hour. That's when I'm asked if I need some water or whatever. Then this person will write, because this person is not orderly. There's no order. There is no way of working. She's not properly trained, or she can't train herself to say, okay, when a visitor comes, I need to do 1, 2, 3, then I'm done with that visitor. Then when a telephone comes in, I answer this telephone, then I attend to that telephone. Now, the people who are saying they are multitasking, that's what they do. They end up doing nothing, everything left in pieces and bits, and you'll see other people coming in to complete what they were supposed to do, the multitaskers. They will end up being helped by other people so that whatever it's to be done, it's sorted. How your purpose empowers your writing. If there are no questions, can I continue? When I think about purpose and writing, the first thing that comes to mind is the question of why we write. On the second slide, when I was giving you an example of writing a thank you message, thank you card to your mom, you've got the purpose. Why do I want to write this? In the past, life was not as fast as it is today. Letters were used to, people were writing letters to each other from one town to the other town, from one province to the other province. The post office was busy because letters were to move. And now I don't think those letters had no purpose. Each and every letter had a purpose, that I'm writing to my aunt. I didn't see her in a long time. Let me just check on her. So I write a letter to my aunt to say, how are you, auntie? The last time you left after Christmas, I didn't check on you. The purpose is to check on your aunt. So you are writing this letter. And when she receives the letter, she's going to know that this letter was written with the purpose of checking on me. She's going to respond. She's going to respond to the letter to say, oh, my son, I'm fine. I arrived safely here and everything is just in order. hope we will meet when we have time. Writing the letter with a purpose of responding to that letter that she received, which is good. Is that not so? The first thing that comes to mind is the question of why we write. You cannot question the reason of why are you studying. You have a reason why you are studying. But well, some people don't have any reason because it's the parent who said, go to school, go and study. But when it comes, you are in matric and you still don't know why you study, why do you want to write your matric exam and why do you want to pass with exemption and so on. But if you're focused, you know why you study. And why do you write the examination? Because you want to pass, you want to achieve, you want to go out of the children's world, you want to go to the adult world. Because the minute you pass matric, your age tells us that you are now a responsible being. You're going to be at a place where there is no teacher, there is no mommy to say, when are you studying? When are you bringing the results? Have you written your tests? And so on and so on. So the purpose is very, very crucial. The purpose is what gives our writing meaning, direction, and impact. I've stressed this a lot. Without purpose, our words can become meaningless and ineffective. If you want me to read your advert, you're going to advertise in such a way that I look at it. Let us look at the adverts that are very common of late. We had HIV awareness, the billboards, the pamphlets, everything was all over the place about HIV. The purpose is to do what? To raise an awareness about HIV. But it's not going to be, ladies and gentlemen, be aware we have AIDS. Here is, just check out if you have AIDS. You cannot say that. You cannot even talk like that to anyone. You want this to have direction. You want this awareness. You want it to have direction. That is why people sit around and create words to write. They create words. They brainstorm. They come up with words to write. So before an advert is up there on the billboards, a lot of work has been done. Lots and lots of work has been done on that. The editing, the words that they are not going to be words that offends people. There are adverts that sometimes you hear that they have to withdraw the advert because people felt offended that this advert is not okay because of this and this and this. But the people who created that, they thought the meaning is right and the direction is right and it will be right. The only impact that it did is people saw it and they saw the negative part of it. They didn't see the positive of it. So if you're a writer and you write for a purpose, you try by all means to avoid negativity. Negative in the context, in words. You've got to be very, very careful. You know, in the media, I once mentioned this also, that you hear that there are things that are done that we take care of our listeners. If we offend you, you can write your comment to this address or call this number or send your message wherever, because people don't want to offend people. Nowadays, we have what we call the Poppy Act, that if you decide to use my face or my name without my consent, I can take you to court. I can sue you for just abusing my name or my whatever. I even said the other time, that is why in academia we have what we call Turnitin. And then they make it their own. Now, this system is very smart because it's going to tell you this whole paragraph is from such and such a book. You stole it from this book and you make it yourself. So you are penalized because of that. Those are the systems that are in here. And in journalism also, there are editors who edit the work of people who are writing. They make sure that people get to offend other people by stealing their work or other people's work. They will complain. Look at you people leaving one political party to the next. When you listen to their slogans, whatever it is, you will see that it's from the same party that he was in, and now changing words just here and there, and changing colors here and there, and making that their own. I don't hear of any law or any rule or any system that argues this and stop making these people to stop. Like I say, in academia, they can stop you to do this, to paraphrase other people. They'll say, okay, continue, or they just leave people. The only time you hear them complaining is when the colors, there is no law that puts that straight. For some writing, for some is a form of self-expression, a way to explore their thoughts and feelings. For others, to educate, to persuade. Still, others write to entertain, to create a world of story that readers can escape into. Now, self-expression. You know, when there are people who write journals every night, they write about the day, what happened today, and so on. They express in feelings, and they write when their feelings are either high, excited, or low, hurt. So they put that on paper. Self-expression. They want the world, or they want them to know that, hey, yesterday I wrote this because I survived an accident, for instance. Then they put their feelings and thoughts on a piece of paper. When you go to psychologists, you know, they have this way of saying, if you have something in your mind, just sit there and write it down. If somebody angered you that much that you cannot forget the pain that this person caused you, when you put it on paper, ladies and gentlemen, this works. When you put it on paper, that such a day, my uncle decided to just push me and hit me and saying that I stole money from his wallet and so on and so on. When you put it on paper and read it, and you read it again, your self-expression, it changes. When you read for the third time, you see that, but it's not something that I can live on. I can just forget about this. My uncle doesn't stay with us anymore. He is called self-expression, but you have put it on paper for you to feel better. You offload. By self-expression, you offload. You explore your thoughts. And then for others, to inform us. If you write newspapers, articles, you write stories, you are informing us. And others is to educate. If I'm sitting and telling you about this, I'm educating you to know about what is happening with the littering. It's to educate that, hey, be aware of this. This is not nice. This is not neat. Let us try to do something else. I'll write to educate. Inform. I'm not informing you that I'm worried about littering. I want to educate you that please do not litter. Or to persuade. You write to persuade. Are you asking? Is that a question? Do you have a question or remark? Okay. If you wait, you want somebody to read this piece of paper so that you persuade people to be aware of something. That I always send messages about voting for this. We see this is happening. Petrol is going up every day. That's a persuasive message. Petrol is going up every day. So let us vote on this article so that we don't agree with the people who are adding these charges and so on and so on. It's a way of persuading. They force you, they persuade you to buy it in what they're thinking is to persuade. Still others write to entertain. Yes, people write to entertain. They write short stories, they write long stories, they write movies, they write about anything else. Entertainment is also galore. And there are people who are just entertainers. There are people who decide that, oh, I'm going to take, I have a passion in becoming somebody who can make people laugh. Then you take that passion and you write, you entertain people to create a world or story that readers can escape into. When you buy a novel and you see, I like this novel because of the title attracts you, then you just want to escape into. You are tired from work or you are tired from school. You have been listening to me. Now you feel, let me just wait with studying now. Let me just relax my mind and get into this novel. Then you go through that. And the person who wrote that wrote it with a purpose of making the readers to relax, to look the other way, to say, okay, things are happening. Just fictitious. You know, some entertainment sometimes is just fictitious. You think of a story. This can happen, this could happen, but you put it in a way that it is true, of which you just want your readers to get into. It's just like going to the movies. You're going to watch a movie, a fictitious movie. You see people flying, you see cars flying, drowning, doing all sorts of things. Or you find you go to a movie where you are going to laugh all the way from beginning to end. You are just entertaining. The people that you'll be looking are actors, but there is someone, there is a writer behind the story. People who are watching soapies, you watch a soapie, some people follow them so much that they know what is happening. what is happening? What is this one that I heard some people talk about it? Oh, did you see on the river? Then I became so stupid. Sure, embarrassed, Nohan. What is the river? How? You don't know the river. So I became a joke because I don't know the river. These are soapies. I don't a soapy watcher. I don't do that. So you become, but some people watch them to just escape into or to understand, because anything that is written with a purpose is going to educate, is going to drive an awareness of what is happening in life. That is why this person took pen and paper and started writing. Having a clear purpose can help us achieve our goals and connect with our audience. They put in the culture, they put in everything that life is taking a toll on us. So they write. So they write with a purpose to say, I want to make people aware that when people are following their, it becomes different when we have intermarital people, because now I'm this Mopedi person, I'm married into the Botswana, they do things differently for Bapedi, and I don't understand. So when a person writes a soapy about in cultural marriages, or in this person is having a clear purpose to say, let me open the eyes of the people to understand that things are normal, they've been there forever, so we cannot run away from it. Though there are people we will stick to our culture, then we won't be growing like we are growing. Countries won't be growing the way they are growing, because now you'll only visit Nigeria, for instance. Nigerians are coming this side, they marry South Africans. Then all of a sudden, if my daughter is married in, we grow that way. So when this person takes a pen and paper to write about Nigeria and South Africans marrying, the purpose is be aware that things are changing and things are different. When we write with a purpose, we can convey a message more effectively, engage our readers deeply, and create a lasting impact. This one I've been repeating, lasting impact. Create a lasting impact. When you write a thesis, you do your research, by the way, and that research, you want us to know about it. You contribute to the world of academia. When you write for the newspaper, you also make an awareness that people be aware of the child trafficking, for instance. Be aware of this. So many people went to jail because of this. You write for a purpose. You create impact that somebody once wrote about this child trafficking. Let me be careful now, not leave the child run around alone. Let me be aware of what can happen. You can help. It can help you to reach your intended audience and increase your chances of achieving your desired outcome. Identifying using the appropriate style of writing. It can help you reach your intended audience and increase your chances of achieving your desired outcomes. The quality of your writing is likely to increase if you are employing the right tools, devices, and tone for the assignment. You know, tone. The tone of a person creates lasting impact. If I talk to you right now and my tone is very low, I say, the quality of your writing is likely to increase if you are employing the tools. Most of you are going to be bored. We don't even hear what is happening here. I'm just going because it's online. So devices and tone for the assignment is very important. You use the right tools, the devices, and the tone of the assignment. You know, the tone is not only on somebody's voice. No, the tone is on what you are writing. When I started, I said, when you greet a person that you don't know, then you just say, hi, or you just say, hello there. The tone tells me this person is far from becoming a professional. So we've got to start there to help clean this person to be a professional. Let us try that. That's where we start, because the tone, the way you addressed me, is the tone tells me that you are lacking something. So when you write, you can read the article and say, yo, the person who wrote here was very angry, or the person was so excited. Is the tone of the writing that gives you that impression that this person was angry or this person was very happy. Whether you write essay, business materials, fiction, articles, it's best if you stay focused on your purpose. I sometimes say, if you write, whether you write an article or a journal or whatever, in every page that you start, put your purpose like you are writing your topic. Put your purpose that you, as a journalist, you want to achieve this. Put it on top of your page so that you don't forget your purpose, because sometimes emotions and the excitement of writing, disturbances can make you, sorry about that, can make you lose focus. So when you have it right there on top, you know that you will be focused on that. When every slide has got a title up there, identifying and using the appropriate style of writing. So continue with that. When you write for a purpose, let your purpose, especially if you are still studying, you are still starting to become a journalist, an entertainer, a fiction writer, or, there are people who's got this passion of writing to mothers, for instance, or to fathers. You must have your topic right on top every time that you don't lose focus. That will help you a lot. Because once you lose focus, you're going to find yourself touching on different issues instead of just one issue. You're going to be touching on different issues that are not important. It's just like when you go to buy groceries. If you're going to buy and lots of things for your grocery trolley, if you don't have a list of things that you actually need at home, you're going to find yourself buying things that you have at home, things that you don't need, and leaving out the important things that you actually left the house going to buy groceries because you lost your purpose, you lost your focus. You find that when you get to the shops, that's business, that's what they do. Hey, there is special on this one, there is sale at the side, there is this. Then you lose focus. You go, oh no, I've been looking for this t-shirt. Today it's 50% off. Then you buy a t-shirt. You forget that you are not there for the t-shirt. You wanted to buy something that you need. You lose focus, you lose your purpose of going to the shops. I hope I'm clear on that one. Now, when you write, that's what you should do. Stay focused so that you don't touch there, touch all over. I can cite an example of the academia. When you write a proposal, you have your topic. Now you've got to explore your topic. Now, in your proposal, instead of you just telling that the proposal is about this topic, you become so excited and finish up your story in your proposal. Instead of just giving us the hint in the proposal that you want to talk about this, you want to research this, you want to explore this, you lose focus. Now you tell us about all these things that are happening in life and so on and so on. Nothing has to do with the topic that you have chosen. While there are many reasons why you might be putting pen to paper or tapping away on the keyboard, there are only 4 main types of writing. We have the expository, we have the descriptive, we have the persuasive, and I wrote narrative in blue. Because most writings are narrative. They tell us what is happening or what happened. They narrate. Most writers are narrating. When you write a bibliography about yourself, you narrate your life. If you write about your school where you attended, you narrate about that school. It's not, there's no way that you can be descriptive without anything. You're going to narrate. We are going to say everywhere where there is a taxi rank, you're going to find litter in heaps, heaps and heaps of litter. My plan or my purpose is to either expose or is to make sense, but I start by narrating. That's how you write. You start by narrating. Then I'm describing. And there is no way that you can write an article just describing. You're going to describe and narrate at the end that you gave us the description of the area where you come from. You tell, you describe. Then after that, you narrate. You come with the purpose, the reason why are you writing? Because now you have described everything. After descriptive, that mind, your descriptive mind is there, then you narrate your story. It can be a story, it can be a journal, it can be what you experienced in court as a lawyer in the making. It can be anything to use it that way. I still wanted to hear people asking questions. How about that? You're going to be quiet until.
Well, ma'am, it's mostly because as of right now,
you'll have some questions for me.
No, not really. You've managed to explain everything so well.
I'm not impressed.
Well explained.
I'm not impressed because I want you to participate. We need to engage.
We are with you.
Yes, you need to engage with me. Ask questions or, your experiences and so on and so on.
I've got a question, Doc.
Yes, let me hear.
Most of the time, as you've been explaining the issue of purpose, more often than not, you're referring to personal experiences and passions. And sometimes
Mhm.
in academics, you don't necessarily choose maybe a topic for yourself. Yes, it might be maybe in a field of your choice, but you find that maybe certain topics have been chosen, so one is chosen for you. So how does one go about to ensure that because now the purpose or the reason why you're writing has been given to you, how do you ensure that you can align it to also what, as the writer, you're intending to deliver from that piece? I don't know if my question is clear.
Your question is clear, but I don't know which department is doing that, choosing topics for people. But when you are doing research in the honors degree level, that's when they choose topics because they are training you to become a master. Is that not so? But when you are studying for masters, you choose your own topic, and same with PhD, you choose your own topic because that is your passion. That is what you have experienced. Unless
Yes.
they help, unless you are helped to say, don't put it this way, put it this way, it will make sense. Because sometimes you have an idea of what you want to research, what you want to explore, but you don't know how to put it, in words so that it can make sense and be attractive to the reader. That's not choosing a topic for you. When they
So
choose a topic for you,
can
continue.
we use the honors example? As you're saying, with honors, because now you're being trained, you will be given a topic. So let's say you are not necessarily passionate about the topic that you have been given. How do you go about to still pursue or deliver, even if it is not necessarily a topic of your choice?
You'll have to love what you're doing. If you are a researcher, you are going to talk to yourself. Remember when I said self-introspection, self-searching? First of all, you want to pass this honors degree, and to go to the topic that we want you to do or to research. So the plan there, if I were you, my plan would be, since I want to know how to research, let me go with this one, because your bigger picture is your master's degree and your PhD. But now, because you are learning this topic, you want to get training out of this. Remember, we are now on the curriculum transformation era. The student is in the center of every lesson. You are in the center. If I want you to research this topic, I need to give you a reason. Why do I say this one? But if I don't give you a reason, I just find it easy to mark as a lecturer. I'm not doing justice to you. I'm not doing justice to you. So you have to know the reason. Why do we choose this topic? And why is one topic given to each and everyone the same way? Something is not right there. Something is not right there. So it's in the honors degree where I find people being given and guided to do that. But you have the right to choose your passion. As I say, in this era, curriculum transformation says the student is in the middle because you have to apply. Mine is to teach you the techniques of researching, the technical aspects of researching, and how to put your wording in research. But the topic, if it's yours, okay, go on. You have a reason. Why do you want to research that? I don't know whether I've answered you.
You have. Thank you very much, Doc.
Okay, thank you. Can we continue if there are no remarks?
Hi, Prof.
Good evening.
Doctor, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you. I don't
Okay,
see you, but I can hear you because I'm giving a full
all right,
screen.
all right, no problem.
I don't see your names.
On my side, I just wanted to, to acknowledge this presentation. When you started, you mentioned that, we are attending this, and most of us, you might find that we are at a different level. So that for me was important because I'm a master's graduate and I decided to attend this because I'm looking forward to doing my PhD next year. And I just wanted that refresher to say, as much as you know it, sometimes you need to hear what you know again and again until it makes sense. So I just want to acknowledge, this presentation because it is things that I know, but I think, when you hear them being said by someone else, it just makes even more sense in terms of how important is this stuff going into writing or doing research. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the comment.
Good evening, Doc. Good evening,
I'm
Dr.
here.
Doc.
Thank you. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for this presentation. I'm just a student, and normally I wouldn't like reading, but I see it now in a very different way, different kind of approach. And my question is, can you even practice it in a business plan? Your passion, how can you write what you've explained to us? Can that even be done? Can you even do that in a business plan that you need to prepare?
Definitely so. Definitely so. Because when you prepare a business plan, first of all, the business, you understand the business, what type of business do you want to plan? That's your topic. The business you want to plan. And some companies have templates. They'll give you a template of their business plan. And some just say, just give me a business plan. Then you research and say, okay, under business plan, I need this, I need audience, I need this, you need all those things. Then you put them together. Language is very important. You write like a professional. You don't use street language or slang or WhatsApp language. You write like a professional to say, my intention with this, your introduction, first of all, must be attractive. It must make the reader to say, yo, what type of business is this? Okay, let me see. Then your introduction, when you talk about your business, that you want to do this, you don't come with some, first of all, when you want to write a business plan, you've got to do a little research to say, what is different that I'm going to do? There are so many people. For instance, you want to open up a crash, let me say, a crash, né? And you look around, hey, there is a crash that side, there is a crash next to that robot, there are crashes all over. But your mind, your passion is, what is it that you will do different? You visit all these places and say, oh, okay, I'll come with something new. If I want to sell fat cakes, for instance, I know I can do the best fat cakes, like my grandmother taught my mom and my mom taught us how to do fat cakes. I can do better fat cakes than this other one. So that's my point, that my difference will be, my fat cakes will be freshly served. If you don't order, you don't get. Of which some are just standing in that corner and doing fat cakes with old oil and stuff. You look at such things. So your business plan should be very, very much professional. And if you want to write a business plan for a company, that's where you can ask for their template. What is it they use? And in that template, you are not just going to do yes, no, you explore, because you shall have researched your business. What is it that you want to do? You are going to use recycled material. You are going to come up with this cups that you want to create, you want to sell, and you have a plan. Where are you going to sell?
Yes.
Where is your business going to be? That's very
And
important.
do you think that by choosing an attractive name for your business plan, that will be the starting point?
The hitting, yes, that's the hitting.
Thank you so much.
Line. Your business attracts you. Remember, I've given the example of an advert, that the advert must attract. Just to look at it, it must make me, oh, check this verse out. We know verse has been there for forever. But now they say this, the champion verse, then they show somebody running up with a rugby ball and doing this. I read this, then yeah, I want to taste this verse, then that is your starting point. Let me share a little joke with you. My youngest daughter used to say, I want to fly. Can you remember what is that advert that when you drink it, you are going to fly? You don't remember?
Red Bull.
You don't remember that Red Bull? Yes. So as a child, shoo, mama, please buy me this drink. I want to fly. They say if you drink it, you will fly. It's a hitting way, a hitting point to say, you drink Red Bull, you're going to fly. So that's how you should plan your business. But check on your language, check if you don't offend anyone. And when you do a business plan, don't do like other people. They talk down about other businesses who are in the same category. Have you seen how politicians do? I mentioned politicians earlier, that when they start a new party, they use the same policies that they are used to. But the best thing that they can do is to talk down about the political party where they come from. So they are not doing anything new. They are just talking. So you cannot buy into that one easily. So that's how it should be. Yes, that's how it should be. Any other comment or question before I move on?
Thank you. Thank you for sharing the knowledge.
Okay.
I'm now working for quite a few years. I'm 42 now, and I only started studying now.
You want to start your business?
No, I'm just studying through my company. And
okay.
I've never
okay, that's good.
I've never seen it in such a way, because I was always like thinking, why do people write books? Because you when you're reading a book, then when I read a book, then I will forget what I've read, and is that normal? But when you read a book and you remember a sentence, then that is the purpose of the book. It attracted you to that one sentence.
Yeah. And if it doesn't impact on you, after reading you forget about it, then it didn't make any impact. Or you didn't read with a purpose. You didn't read with concentration. You were just flying through the words, and that's it. But if you read with a purpose because of the title that attracted you, you will find something that will give you a lasting impact.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, okay. I move on, class.
Good evening, ma'am. Can I please answer a question? I hope I am loud and clear.
I can't hear you.
Oh, good evening.
Good evening,
can you hear me now?
Yes, I can now.
My question is that, maybe for example, I'm given a topic where I write about the best holiday that I have ever went to. Obviously,
the what?
That I ever went to. An example of a question, maybe if I'm writing an essay, which is, I think, is a narrative essay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear me?
No, it's like you are speaking in a bottle. I can't hear you properly, ma'am.
Let me try moving.
Yes, please.
Can you hear me now?
That's better, yes.
Saying that if the question says to me, maybe a topic says that I should write about the best holiday that I ever went to, right?
Yes.
Obviously, according to me, my starting point would be me maybe saying doing my morning routine, afternoon. So I want to ask, when do I get to the part, or do I just start by getting to the actually getting there to Cape Town, maybe for an example, and write all the details, or I start by
in the first paragraph?
Yes.
No, when you write, we've
introduction.
got what we call, yes, we've got what we call the introduction, right? We've got what we
Yes.
call the body, and we've got what we call the conclusion. Your introduction, you want to tell us the best place. What did you say? The best place where you visited?
Yes.
So you tell us about your excitement. I'm giving you an example of your introduction. The excitement that you were so excited when your mom told you that you are going to fly to Cape Town, for instance. Ne? You are going to fly to Cape Town, and when you get there, she will make sure that you go to the Table Mountain. I'm giving an example. Then your excitement in your introductory paragraph tells us that we are going to hear a lot about this trip. Then your second paragraph, the excitement is there on top. It has attracted me as a reader. Your second paragraph, now you start telling us about the preparations. The gist of the whole thing will be right in your body, the middle of your essay. When it comes to the conclusion, now you summarize everything that has happened. You are now at your climax. But your climax starts in the middle, right in the gist of the body. That's when you tell us. Because that end that you explained in the first paragraph when you introduced your topic made us to read more. How excited about what? It was the first time that I heard that there is food in the aeroplane. You just touch, important things. Then you move to your body. What happened? What did you experience? Then you conclude. I don't know whether I've helped.
Thank you so much.
Are you there? I hope I've helped. Yes. Your introduction should be the hitting point, the more attractive point, so that I should want to read the body. Just like in academic writing, your introduction or your proposal, if you are at the stage of the proposal, your proposal should tell us you intend to research this. And when you are writing already, you are a master student now, you are busy. Yes, this is what I've observed. When you come to doctoral, that's now you are free. You sail, you go free, because your chapter 1 is going to make us read more. It's going to make us read more because your first paragraph in your chapter in master's or doctoral or honors, it's that first paragraph must just be clear. Professional, edited, and everything else. Are we together? Each of this, they require different types of writing skills. We spoke about writing skills in the past, that you've got to have a skill. When I started about the style of writing. You may also have heard them referred to in academic setting as modes of discourse or rhetorical modes. Institutions of higher learning are rhetorical modes, but most pieces are called upon to write will have one of the You need to have that purpose. You are narrating, you are descriptive, you must just have that. We are not going to argue about that or not to see. Now, learn the types of writing. This expository, descriptive, persuasive, and narrative. Simply puzzling out which of these 4 types of writing best suits and adhering to it can help you write more efficiently and effectively. When you write an of what you once visited a place, you're going to, sometimes you can find yourself using 2 of them. You describe what was happening, but at the same time, remember I said you cannot say anything without narrating. You are going to narrate, but you are going to say, I'm describing this. In your mind, you are going to say, let me describe, where does it come from? Why was excited when I was told we will fly to Cape Town? I was never at the airport as a child. Now I am in my adult, my way to adultship, and I'm told, because you passed matric so well, we have to make you fly to Cape Town. That's how it should be. Then here I explain now, expository writing. The word expository contains the word expose. So the reason expository is for this type of writing is that it exposes or set forth facts. It is probably the most common genre you will come across throughout your day. In an expository piece, a topic will be introduced and laid out in a logical order without reference to the author's personal opinions. When you expose something, we don't want to hear about your opinion. Some writers giving us their opinions. They want to, let me give you an example of pastors. The pastor reads the text from the Bible. Reading that text, the pastor is going to try and interpret what the text is saying from the Bible. And some people will say about that text. So the Bible is something that is only known by those people. Now, if you write, you want to expose, you want to tell us what God is saying from the Bible, you give your personal opinion. It's no more the text from the Bible. You are giving your personal opinion. People like giving personal opinions. Expository writing can be found in texts, book, journals, except for opinion and editorial articles, business writing, technical writing, essays, instructions. All of this kind of writing are expository because they aim to explain and inform. So when you read, you say, oh, no, this one, it's, I'm reading here and that this person was just exposing something that the world or the country or we people are not aware of. Be aware of this. Then descriptive writing. The aim of descriptive writing is to help the reader visualize in detail a character, event, place, or all of these things at once. The author might describe the scene in terms of all 5 senses. Descriptive writing allows the writer a great deal more artistic freedom than expository writing does. So when you describe, like I've given the example of being taken out to Cape Town and using a plane, you describe describe. You start with your mood, the excitement. You describe the first paragraphs or the first two paragraphs. You describe the feelings and the excitement. Descriptive writing can be from fiction, poetry, advertising, journal, and diary writing. There are people who like to write their diary. I mentioned that some people write something every night in their journals. They have, but such people end up writing books. You know, they become, they take the same information that they've been piling up and write books out of it. It's about my life. I can write about my life, my bibliography, and you know, it's easy to do that because the aim of persuasive writing or argumentation is to influence the reader, assume the author's point of view. The author will express personal opinions. That's where opinions are now in the piece. Him or herself with evidence so that the reader will agree with him or her. Statements are rather than facts. That you should know. When I say I see people littering all over, this one an opinion. It's a fact that if you go out and look, you'll find that your litter is all over the place. It's a fact. But if I write, I want to persuade you that you must agree on that. This opinion is right. Okay, what is happening now? Okay, narrative writing. Oh, it's after 8 ASCIIs. The purpose of writing is to tell a story, whether that story is real or imaginary. Pieces in a narrative style develop the following skills: avoid or revise wording that is discriminatory or otherwise may offend readers. I mentioned this earlier. To address confusion and increase accuracy in word choices. Remember when I was talking about things that you say one word, but just rounding around and not saying the exact point. To develop language and style habits that are precise, accurate, and appropriately formal for writing in academic and professional settings. And lastly, to recognize situations in which passive or active voice are appropriate style of choices. When we're doing grammar, when we started, we spoke about these grammatical issues that they are very important. If you write, are you in the passive voice or in the active voice? Ask yourself that. Busy preparing your story or you are preparing to research something, you've got to ask yourself that and it will help you. Now, students, ladies and gentlemen, one thing with finding your purpose is only the first step of writing. I wrote it in big so that you hear me, that the only thing is finding your purpose in any writing, whether it's an essay, whether it's a paragraph, whether it's a research for academic, whatever, find your purpose. This you need to practice even when talking. When you know you're going to address people, find your purpose and you will succeed. Know that tomorrow you will be busy with to identify and use the appropriate form for various written communications in public relations. Thank you, class.